Do you ever wonder, when should I pitch and when should I chip? We're going to talk about that today and give you the little differences in the mechanics in the setup and the difference in the shot. So right now I am probably about 8 yards from the green, but the pin is very far back. So I always think the sooner you can get the ball on the green and let it roll, it's a higher percentage shot, especially if the situation you're in allows you to do that. So I really don't have to go high over anything. I don't have to carry a bunker. So I am going to do what we refer to as a chip or a chip and run. Some people refer to it as a bump and run. I do believe in switching clubs to get the ball to roll different distances. So the longer you need the ball to roll, or the further you need the ball to roll, the lower lofted club that you're going to use. The less distance that you want the ball to roll, the higher lofted club you're going to use. The setup is going to be the same, no matter if you're doing hitting a 9-iron or a sand wedge for the chip and run. So a couple of things with the chip. Number one is, let's talk about how we set up to the ball. So number one, with the feet. Okay, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and put your feet pretty close together. So maybe a club head width apart. We're also going to go ahead and take the left foot and flare it out. So when I set up what I call square, my belt buckle is looking at the ball. When I go ahead and open my stance, now my belt buckle is going to be left of the ball for a right-handed golfer. The ball placement is going to be just a little back of center. So still in my stance, but a little bit more towards my back foot. The big thing in setup with the chip is we are going to stand much closer to the golf ball than we normally do in your full swing or even in a pitch shot. So when you set up, we're going to try to get the toe of the club to sit pretty flat to the ground. The heel will be up a little bit. So what happens when we do that, you can see how the shaft then would become a little more vertical. When I do that, I'm going to go ahead and move in and stand closer to the ball. As I stand closer to the golf ball, it's also then easier to swing the club a little bit straighter back and straighter through. And that's what we're trying to do on a chip shot. It's almost like a big putt. The other thing we're going to do at setup, we're going to open the stance. I am going to ask you to put probably like 60% of your weight on your left leg. And in the swing, in the backswing, there's going to be no weight shift. It's really going to feel like you're doing most of the work with your shoulders. When you do follow through, we will let your torso go ahead and turn a little bit. You may even feel like your left hip is turning a little bit. So we don't want you to stay totally still in the follow through, but in the backswing, keep that weight on your left side. So what I'm going to try to do, I know I have a wedge because I have a lot of green to work with. So as I'm getting ready to hit the shot, I'm trying to figure out where I think I need to land the ball. And because my wedge is about 42 degrees aloft, it's going to come out pretty low and roll pretty far. So I only need to land this maybe about 4 to 5 feet onto the green, and it's going to roll to the hole. So again, I'm going to set up. The shaft is a little more up. I'm standing closer. How much I choke down, that's going to be really dependent on each of you. Kind of let your arms hang nice and relaxed. Most likely you will choke down on it because you're going to be standing much closer to the ball. Again, a little more weight on the left and a little more straight back and through. So I just landed that onto the green, a little hard, but not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and do one more. The other thing, when we set up, the handle will be just left of zipper. So we don't want to get it too far back, nor do we want to get it too far forward. That kind of gets you to get that leading edge to chunk into the ground a little bit. So toe down, a little weight on the left toe of the club down, weight on the left, That's going to be a little bit better. So the nice thing about this shot, it's not a real big swing. So if you miss-hit it, it's not a real bad miss-hit. Now I've moved further back. So I probably have a good 35 yards of fairway that I need the ball to carry. So I'm going to switch shots. I'm going to go ahead and hit that pitch shot. So the first thing I do is take a different club. So I use my pitching wedge on the chip and run. I now have a 56 degree. In my bag I have a 56 and a 52. You may have a 60. Everybody kind of gets their favorite club. So in my opinion, there's not a right or wrong. It's whatever gets the job done. But I'm going to go ahead and hit my 56. A couple things in the setup. Feet, we're still going to put pretty close together, but not quite as close as they were on that chip. So maybe like 2 club lengths apart. We're going to take the left foot and open it again, so that belt buckle is not going to be pointing at the ball. It's actually going to be pointing left of the ball. Ball placement, I'm going to play in the middle of my stance. I'm also going to put a little more weight on the left side. Now my swing is going to be different. It has to be a longer swing, that chip, because I need the ball to fly about 35 yards. So as I come back, I may have a little bit of wrist hinge on that backswing, not a whole bunch, but as I follow through, I'm actually going to finish a little higher than I did in the chip, and I'm going to allow that club to kind of work a little bit under that golf ball. So I'm trying to get that club to bottom out right where the golf ball is. So as we set up here, the other thing that's a little bit different than the chip we were much closer. This we're going to stand a little further away. We're going to let the handle drop a little bit. That's going to allow the club to come in on a little bit of a curve. So a little bit more like a normal swing, normal backswing. And again, I'm going to go ahead and let that club kind of bottom out right at the ball. As I follow through, I'm going to have a little more weight shifting to my left side also. So again, set up. We're going to stand a little further away from it. We can go ahead and choke down on the club. Again, whatever feels comfortable to you. I've always found when you choke down on it, you have a little more control of the club. But again, practice it. Find what works for you. The ball's going to be in the middle of my stance. Stance open a little bit. And now what I'm trying to do is picture where I want this ball to land. So I'm going to try to land it about halfway onto the green. Because I have a 56 degree wedge, the ball should go much higher and not roll as far as when I was chipping. So again, ball middle, weight left. The handle will be just left of zipper, so not a big forward press. And now I'm just trying to figure out how hard I have to swing to get that ball to land about halfway onto the green. So not bad, I hit it a little chunky, but because the club has bounce on it, it turns out pretty well. Go ahead and do one more. Again, ball middle, weight a little left. I'm a little further away from the ball than I was with the chipping. So pretty good, not quite my spot. I guess I need to practice a little bit. But these are the difference between that chip and that pitch. And again, in my opinion, the sooner you get the ball on the green and let it roll, it's a higher percentage shot. But if you find something that works better for you, go with it. Not saying it's wrong. We're just giving you different options that you can try when you're doing short game and see which one works best for you. If you like this tip, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook and Instagram.